I just couldn't be more proud of them. It's just they just keep battling, they keep working, they keep grinding, and just keep getting better. That we have not lost a game this year when we win the rebounding battle. That was a big emphasis. We knew they were going to make shots, but a team like Colorado State, we knew you can't give them another crack at it. But again, Royce, Vic, David as usual, but Bryce going to get in 10. It's one of those things that they could not have really kind of had a better intent the last couple of days. And the last few days of course we try to formulate a plan, but a lot of it involves what they see, from last time. So that the input from those guys, so that we recognize it and try to get them into situations that we can duplicate as best possible, so that they're not surprised during game on the game night. I thought it was probably the biggest difference. They talked about it. They had great conversations. Coach Buckhead, the scout, they did a really good job of kind of relaying what they felt from last game and what they felt worked, what they kind of were confused about, or maybe we could do different. And with the last 2 days, they were prepared, and they just played so hard, and had a lot of fun.
Bryce was just in here, and he said he likes the way the team is playing now, and he knew they were going to get to this point, at some point in the season and reach this level of play. Did you know that you were going to get to this point? Aside from the intangible stuff, what did you see from this team early on that maybe made you think you could reach this level of play?
Well, this is probably the first time we've been healthy since maybe even June. And so when we had the June and July workouts, this is kind of, I think, what we hoped and planned for our identity to be, which is defense. And having a lot of guys that can guard different positions. And Donovan, who coming back from his knee and just being as selfless as he's been, go guard Roddy, and he does, and he competes at it. And we talked about it in the locker room about not, if you think you're about to foul or whatever, it doesn't matter, foul then, and just don't let Colorado State have an advantage. And that's exactly what he did. He didn't give up ground. He did his best to compete, and he didn't allow them to get an advantage. Then David Mueller goes and guards him for a little bit. Royce and Vic, of course, guard him for a little while. And then the guys doing a really good job on Stevens. We always hoped and planned for our identity to be defense, because a lot of things offensively come with time, with years of experience and reps. And but right now, guys they're in sync defensively. They're playing so hard, and I think that's tonight's kind of the result of that.
Defense not always the easiest thing to get guys to buy into, but when they start seeing the results like this, can it get to be contagious on that end of the floor with guys wanting to play defense?
No question, because that's as we've talked about, we need that to be our identity. And the guys, as we've grown and gone through the year, the guys have taken a little more ownership and had a little more input. I think now, in the last month or so, we've gotten to the point from a relationship standpoint of coaches and players where when they want to put their stamp on something, we're all about it. We're all for it. We want it to be that way. And you can see in the last handful of games, especially, they're pointing, they're talking, they're telling each other what's coming as the ball's coming down the floor. And I think when you got 5 guys out there doing that, just having a priority of winning each possession. As I just mentioned with CT and John, I don't think our defense, I don't think we play good defense when we have good offense. I really don't. I think when we buckle down and really have our priority being on the defensive end, I think nobody wants to go down and shoot it quickly and then come back and expect to have a good defensive possession. So we're better, we're more patient. We get more guys involved. We get the ball side to side. We take better shots, and then we get back and get set. And so I really think that's what kind of sets the tone for us.
Kevin, yourself from being a player here about getting hot at the right time towards the end of the season and getting ready to make a run in the conference tournament. Is that something that you've hit on the guys with yet, about getting hot here at the right time and looking ahead to what could happen here in the next couple of weeks?
Not from us as coaches. No, it's we've got to get better tomorrow. We got better today. And as we mentioned in the locker room after the game, their reward is now they get to go play their arch rival on the road at their next game. That's the reward for coming in here tonight and playing well. But Yeah, we're at that point in the season where, of course, you want to be hot, we want to be fresh. It's nice to have everybody back and getting better, but we really are kind of in an approach and a mentality that tomorrow morning when we meet up at practice, we've just got to get better in that hour that we'll go and take care of our bodies and be fresh for Monday.
Kevin, Mike usually starts with a lot of energy, and then lately he's been waning as the game goes, but today was like a sense of urgency from beginning to the end. Can you talk a little bit about his energy and how that kind of transpired throughout the team?
Yeah, Mike, I mean, he's always high energy. He's always smiling. He's always fun to be around. I think lately I do think as the game's gone on, he might have been getting a little more sore. But again, when you've got Donovan back, you've got Bake back, you've got Webb healthy, Jordan, Keyshawn, Bryce, of course, you've got that many guys that can play. You can get him quicker breaks, and they can be for a minute longer or 2 minutes longer, or he doesn't have to play as long of a stretch. And I think that as much as anything will help Mike because we have more depth where we can get guys in there and they can play harder for shorter minutes. And for somebody that came back as fast as anybody I've ever seen off an ACL to play here, just because of how much he wanted to play, you just root for him. You want him to be healthy. You want him to have fun. And right now, I mean, you wouldn't know what happens during his day because he's always somebody that has fun. But I think right now he's having a lot of fun.
They probably weren't going to let Bryce Hamilton score 40 again, but he 20 points, led the team in assists. What do you think of the way he played today?
I thought he played great. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Just the one turnover. Late part of the first half, John and Curtis actually asked about the adjustment we made as a coaching staff to get kind of that Mike a couple of those threes, and that wasn't us at all. Bryce, they set a high ball screen for Bryce. He had 2 guys come at him. I think it was Vic or Royce went up and set a screen for Mike to get him 2 open looks. They just kind of recognized that. They played off each other for that. And Bryce made great reads. He brought 2 defenders. It was a great screen set. He got it to his teammate who was ready to knock down a shot. And I thought that kind of was probably the turning point in the game, I felt, because we were able to get a little space, and get a little some good looks offensively. And it's going to be the same for Bryce. People aren't going to let Bryce beat him as much anymore and let him get his clean of looks. But tonight I thought, even at Fresno, I thought there was a couple, maybe if he had again, he would have made a different decision. I thought today, and of course I haven't seen it yet, but I thought today he probably played as good of an offensive game all around as maybe all year.
Coach, Colorado State's 21-4, but 2 of their losses have been emphatically to you, and you and your guys don't seem that surprised. So I guess big picture, what does it say about this team's belief?
Yeah, I think they do believe in each other. They believe in themselves. They work hard every day. If you walk into our shoot around today versus the beginning of December, they're the same. I mean, if you walk into our practice tomorrow versus 6 weeks ago, they're the same. They're happy. They like each other. They enjoy working hard. So I think this is just one of those things that I wouldn't say they expected it to be that way, but they do expect to go out and compete and fight. And we've talked about it now for a couple of weeks when the schedule got all mixed up for everybody about just being able to lay our head down at night and be happy with the fight we gave. And if we don't end up winning the game, we've got to be okay knowing that we went and fought and competed. And a lot of times, though, I feel with this group, if we go and fight and compete, they're going to be happy with the result.
What impressed you the most about David Muoka's minutes tonight? Because he really seemed like he put in a shift.
I think his versatility. I thought he was, really good. 4 offensive rebounds, guarding Roddy a little bit, guarding Thomas a little bit. We're asking a lot of a guy that really early on didn't have much of a role, and we're kind of throwing curveballs at him in some timeouts that he might not be expecting to do. But I think the best part about David is he never questions it or gives you a look. He just says, okay, and he's going to go try to do it to the best of his ability. And you absolutely have to have guys like David. He's a constant rim threat, which is good for our offensive spacing. He gets his hands on a lot of offensive rebounds, and then defensively, he goes out there and he slides his feet and he tries to stay in front of Roddy, who's probably one of the toughest covers in the league. And then, 2 plays later, he's guarding Morris, who are doing their 2 very different players. So just incredibly proud of him for staying with it, fighting through it, continuing to get better, continuing to learn. But we're really excited about David going forward.
5 of 22 for Colorado State from 3. What was kind of the key to your guys' perimeter defense today?
I think with a lot of the stuff they do, I think you just got to keep the ball in front. And I thought our guys did a really good job tonight of just keeping the ball in front, because when you get in a closeout game with them, is a handful of their threes that they did make, I thought we were chasing. And anytime you're chasing Colorado State, you're going to struggle. So I thought the guys just did a really good job keeping the ball in front, so they didn't need as much help, and that made a lot of their threes more contested.
Bryce is, like you said, he had a good game all around, but his scoring numbers are kind of coming back down from the nuclear level it was at before. How good is it to see the guys pick him up after he did so much for the offense before?
Yeah, I think it's just about staying ready. Even like talked about a second ago, making those kicks to Mike to get him open looks, and Mike being ready to shoot him. It's just important because guys, teams going forward, they're not going to let Bryce beat them, and Bryce knows that, and he made 2 great plays in that run to get us going. So just talking about keeping the guys being ready. We've consistently shot the ball better, as the year's gone on, and I think a large part of that is we're going to keep getting good looks as long as Bryce is part of his game is being a playmaker.
That'll do it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I feel great. I feel like we're clicking at the right time. I feel like we kind of knew this was going to happen as we stayed the course. We just can't get satisfied, though. We got a couple more games left, and we're going to keep on working out every day and just keep getting better.
You just said you knew this was going to happen. Why were you confident that you guys would get to this point?
We're a talented group. We also had guys that was out 2 times of the season. I feel like we're starting to kind of get everybody back and stuff. So I always knew the talent has always been there. Everything is just clicking right now.
What did you think was the key for you guys, especially defensively today against this Colorado State team?
Stop Roddy and Stevens. First game we did great on Roddy. We did good on him again tonight. Stevens went off for 35 the first time, so he was a big emphasis. So I felt like our guards, we stepped up at guarding him, and the bigs, of course, did their good job at guarding Roddy.
David, the last time you guys played Colorado State was kind of your coming out game, but today you played some huge minutes on Roddy. What was kind of the strategy going on there?
I always try and keep the same mindset. Every time I come out and I try, assert my dominance. Physical. I use my God-given talents. My length, my strength, my wingspan. I feel like I got the whole package to really guard anyone. So I really just step out there and just, from the get-go, whether I'm subbing in, 5 minutes into the game, 10 minutes into the game, just asserting my dominance as soon as I step onto the court and just doing what I can to help my team win on both ends of the floor.
What has kind of your path been to these established minutes now? You're playing 15, 20 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just, never giving up on myself, just always keeping the same, confidence on and off the court. Bring it in practice each and every day, fight hard. I'm fighting down there with guys like Vic and Royce, battling every day, Bryce, everyone out there, just, we going hard. So, it's helped me improve over time. And also from a mental standpoint, just being locked in every time I step out on the court.
Bryce, last time you guys played Colorado State, 42 points, and you guys needed every single one of those. Tonight you come out 20 points, but you get contribution from all over the roster. Has that kind of taken some of the load off of your shoulders?
Yeah, it felt good. I mean, I knew Colorado State was going to play me a certain way this time, and, they forced me to be a passer. And, I passed to guys like Mike, Donovan, Vic. Everybody stepped up, made shots, and, it was very hard for them to stop us on the offensive end.
Speaking of stepping up and making shots, Muoka comes out 13 points to help you out. What's it like when he's shooting well like this?
It's very great for our team. Mike is a great scorer, and I feel like he's gaining that confidence back at a very good time.
Bryce, there was a lot to consider when you were determining your future for this year. Do games like today and this week help validate your decision, the way that you've had success, and it really seems like you're in a groove?
Yeah, most definitely. I came back to UNLV, just wanted to be able to make that NCAA tournament. And, I trusted Coach Kruger and the players that he recruited to come back here, and I feel like, they did a very good job, and I feel like we're clicking at the right time, and, we just got to keep moving forward.
Talk about that energy right now, just how good this win feels.
It's great win. I mean, Colorado State, they're, a top 25 team, it's a good win. It's a good sweep. I felt like the reason why we beat them because we respect them so much. They're a great team, and you know, that's why we came out and got that win today.
Reno, on Tuesday, how do you guys keep this rhythm going?
You know, just get ready for, we're going to enjoy the rest of this day. Tonight, we got practice tomorrow and stuff, so we're just going to get ready for Reno. Got a couple more games left, and we're going to be ready to try to get a sweep for them, too.
Anybody else? All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.